Alright, this was a really cool truck that I worked on this summer, project that I got into, 56 GMC truck that I paid $500 for, 2018, just before the COVID and everything. It was in really bad shape, and it sat for quite some time before I finally decided to do something with it. And the reason I decided to do something with it is because of the bed, the record bed that I found, which went with it so perfectly. So let me show you that. Okay. All right. So I was at a local junkyard, Shenandoah Valley in Roanoke, and they had this bed there, and I gave them $500 for it. And it's a Holmes 400, I think. There's the Holmes thing, and there's a tag over there. I'll show you. And I got 57 plates on it because I didn't have 56 plates. And I don't know. I just wanted them on there, just until I find 56s. None of the wiring is wired up yet. Wasn't sure. I'm gonna try it. I'm trying to find some dually rear wheels, but I might leave that. And if I do, I'll have to cut this fender. You know, maybe at least along this line, and across here, whatever, down there. But if I find the dually wheels, then I won't have to do that. I do have 2 of them, but I need 2 more. And I'd have to get longer lug nuts too, because it's not gonna work like that. Here's the little plate. There's the 400. So it fit really good. I was surprised. There was right in here, I had to cut a section here, but it was just a stupid, like a place to put tools and stuff, and it went from here all the way down to here, and it was about a foot deep, and I had to cut that off. But it was so dumb because there was no side door or nothing. You just had to throw the stuff down in there, and it just rotted out, and your stuff would get all wet, and there was no lid, so it was pointless. So it needed to come off anyway. So once that was done, it fit on there perfect. I want to show you this. This truck, I didn't notice this until I started restoring it. This says BF Goodrich right here. There's the HCI BF there. I was kind of wondering where this truck came from. No holes in the roof, that was nice. But since it looks like it's perfect because they came together like this, but they didn't. Then I found these 2 lights, these 2 matching lights. I got them on there. So I want to put it back to all original. I mean, to working condition anyway. I found this electric winch at this old Navy winch. And it's dual. There's this one here. There's 2 drums, and each one moves in a different direction. So it's pretty cool. Here's the Navy badge. I don't know if I want to use this. I'd rather use a PTO winch and original stuff, but I'd have to change the 3-speed transmission. Basically restored the entire interior this summer. Needed floor pans, needed steps. Was able to find decent doors. I got them off those trucks. Actually, I bought all these trucks from the same place at the same time for $500 apiece. This was in one of the worst conditions, but it was the only 8-lug truck. heavy duty truck, and it was just right for the winch, or I mean the wrecker bed. And this just came out of one of the trucks, and it just didn't need to do anything to it. Cleaned it up, saved me some money there. And I found that in one of the trucks and glued it in. Found this in one of the trucks over there. So it was a good thing. Gave me a lot of parts. There's a 58 over there, the one on the far left, and it gave me both doors. And I had the most important thing about these trucks, in my opinion, are the bumpers. Excuse me. And they were pretty bent up. And in order for it to look right, I needed to restore them. So quite a bit of work was done on that. The lower bumper was fine, thank goodness. But the eyebrows or whatever, these things, they needed quite a bit of work. Welding and Bondo in there just to make them look decent. This piece was okay. But both sides of these needed some welding. And you can still see some of the pitting and stuff in there. But it's got some heavy paint on it, so that should be alright. But the biggest deal were these things. This was destroyed. I mean, it was like a hole through it and pushed in, like somebody was using it as a bumper to push something. And I couldn't find one anywhere. There are not a lot of these things left, and they certainly don't make reproductions. So I ended up buying a 57 bullet, or whatever they call it. And there's a small, you can see right here, I cut it all the way around and welded it in and bondoed it and got it to fit pretty straight. And then this side was okay, but it was dented too, and there's just a lot of Bondo and welding in it to make it okay. And then, thank goodness, this was in pretty decent shape. So, and then I still don't have an emblem for it, so if anybody has an emblem, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. It's 100. The original ones were 100, so I don't even know what size. Maybe 150 or something. GMCs are different. I don't know. But the 8-lug truck, whatever the 8-lug truck had, that's what I'd like to have. And I bought this on eBay. That was a good find. Let's see if I can get this thing open. Might have to set this camera down. It's pretty difficult. It's heavy. So I restored everything before I even knew it ran. It didn't matter to me because I figured I'd find a motor if it needed one. But as it turned out, this one ran just fine. I guess a Chevrolet engine in it, that's really strange. So somebody changed it at one time. And it started right up. It wasn't locked up. It did really easily. It started really easily, so I was happy. Didn't even need to change the starter. Tell you a funny story. When I put oil in it for the first time, oil poured out the front and back, and I was like, oh man, that's it's pretty typical. I'm sure I need a new gasket. But I was like, that's way more oil than it should be coming out. And sure enough, I took that thing out, and apparently this cap was off for quite some time, because from one end to the other was a mouse nest. I mean, from one end to the other, and the thing was running like that. I mean, these things you just can't kill them. So I spent like 2 hours cleaning that up, and this hasn't given me any trouble so far. Now, I have not changed the oil pan. I bet you there's some mess down in there. So I did buy that generator, and so far it's not working. I don't know if it's my fault or if they sent me a broken one, but it is not. It's not charging the battery as of yet. And that even had a carburetor. I didn't do anything to it. It's amazing how good they built these things. The radiator was leaking here a little bit, so I put some rubber around it and put this thing on it and stop that. So the radiator doesn't leak. You know, I mean, geez, these things are built right. Of course, I had to put a oil or a tray in here, but it's got a good frame. It's got some right up in here, and I had to do some welding here to keep the hood opening properly. So that's the truck. Oh, I had to replace this fender, and it's got some Bondo in it yet. I haven't quite finished it. If I open this door. This was a really nice door. It's got all new. I didn't do glass in it, but all new weather stripping. So they roll down really nice now. Okay. Even in here, really easy to do, really, and it's relatively cheap. And I bought it all off of Rock Auto. Trust me, it's a lot cheaper off Rock Auto than most places. Then this is some of the stuff that I've collected to put on it. I don't know if I'll put it all on here, but some old stuff that would be neat, like a spotlight, and this another spotlight. I don't know if I'll use this one or not. And the gruel thing I'm gonna eventually put a flap on it. Flaps on it back, and then these things these are really nice. These are expensive if you see them on eBay. And then this thing, super cool. I don't think it's correct for this vintage, but take a look at this. It moves here, so you can mount it to something here, and basically move it in any direction. Let's get the switch, and I got this is probably expensive. I got a siren for it, and I got the 4-speed hump, because I eventually put a 4-speed in it. Alright. It goes pretty straight. This little, gotta do it a couple times sometimes. Alright, so thought you might want to see these trucks, the ones that are giving me parts. I had only planned on fixing one of these trucks, and that was the greenish one there with the license plate. That's a 56. But I did a 68 step-side truck, and then I started working on the 52 step-side truck, and I was like, I want to do another boring step-side truck. I mean, they're not boring, but it's just same thing over and over, just different truck. So I thought I wanted to do a wrecker, and it was just really neat how they went together so well. And they, you know, the right 50s wrecker bed for the 50s truck was just perfect. So this one gave me a lot of stuff. It had the best parts, the 58 here, and somebody had, I don't know, put this flatbed on it, and then a positive traction rear end, a 5-lug positive traction rear end out of something, probably Impala or Chevelle or something. I haven't quite figured that out. So I've got several pieces here collected over the years. And this is a 55 that is just too rough to do anything with, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but somebody could, I suppose. Then these bed parts were eventually going to go on the 56. I mean, I might still do it, but it's going to be, is not not currently any plans on doing it. Just too much going on. But collected some stuff and got enough trucks here to pieces to do it. Lots of wheels, original wheels, and a few new pieces. And this was a really nice one. It didn't have any rot along the top edge. The mice get in there. Has good glass for the most part. The dash isn't too tore up, but I'll have to fix the radio there. Of course, the floors were good actually, so it really only needs the step there and the cab corners. This fender isn't that bad, but you know, I suppose the new one probably better. I don't think that motor is. I think that motor's locked out. Is that I bought it that carburetor was off of it, so it had probably been off it for a while. And this is a 57 GMC, and that's a factory grill off of, like, they built a cheap model. It never made any sense to me why they had those giant bumpers like the 56 does. This one, 57, had a pretty good sized bumpers too. It had a lot of cost and weight to the truck, so they decided to build something that was cheaper and less parts. And really, it kind of just looks like a Chevy now, except for the dash. Yeah, some people love it, but it's kind of ugly compared to the 57 dash. I mean, Chevy dash. So the floors are pretty bad in this. This lower hinge is rotted out, or the door actually. So I guess not the hinge. There you go. I took every single gas tank out of these trucks trying to find one good gas tank for that 56 GMC project, and I got lucky and found one tank. The rest of them are rotten. Where it's just actually scrapped them all, cut them open, filled them with garbage or scrap metal, and took them to the scrapper. So, most people, I guess, have to buy new ones. So this got a good motor. It's not locked up. And both of these motors are not locked up. They're all 6-cylinder, 3-speed on columns. Alright, those are those trucks. And I just wanted to show you that 56. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I was so excited about working on a vehicle, because it just went together so well. It just meant for each other. So, alright, until next time. Hope you enjoy it.